The world will test you. Not once, not twice. Every single day, you will be pushed. You will be doubted. You will be underestimated. You will be ignored, laughed at, misunderstood, betrayed, and left alone. And life? It won't wait until you're ready. It hits when you're down, when you're tired, when you think you've got nothing left. But a bulletproof mind, it doesn't break. It doesn't beg. It doesn't fold. It adapts. It sharpens. It walks through fire and comes out forged in something stronger than steel. This world wasn't built to make you powerful. It was built to make you distracted, weak, soft, reactive, addicted, emotional. Because the weaker your mind, the easier you are to control. Turn on the TV, chaos. Scroll your phone, dopamine. Look outside, comparison. Listen too long, self-doubt. Everywhere you go, there's something trying to break you, trying to pull you away from your center, trying to hijack your focus, your discipline, your purpose. And most people, they fall, they break, they become part of the noise. But you're here for something deeper. So let me ask you this. How do you become unshakable, mentally untouchable, in a world built to distract and destroy? That's the question. That's the mission. That's the war. And it starts right now. Most people are mentally fragile. Let's be honest. Most people aren't mentally strong. They're emotionally reactive. They're slaves to their cravings. They're victims of every situation. One comment ruins their day. One failure destroys their confidence. One rejection breaks their spirit, their glass, and they walk through life praying nothing heavy drops on them. But the truth is, life will drop something heavy. Not once, but many times. So what are you going to do? Pray for a lighter load, or build the mental muscle to carry anything. The world doesn't care about your feelings. Here's a reality check. The world doesn't care how you feel. It doesn't care how tired you are. It doesn't care about your mood, your emotions, your reasons, your history. The world moves forward, with or without you. And while you're curled up in fear, crying over your past, avoiding what's hard, the world keeps building, the strong keep rising, and the mentally fragile keep falling behind. So stop waiting for sympathy. Stop hoping life will be fair. Stop thinking motivation will magically show up. Start getting serious. Because in this world, only two types of minds exist: bulletproof and broken. What makes a mind bulletproof? It's not arrogance. It's not pretending to be hard. It's not shouting louder than others. A bulletproof mind is calm, clear, focused, unmoved by chaos, untouched by noise, unshaken by praise, hate, or anything in between. A strong mind isn't loud. It's disciplined. It's the man who can sit in silence and smile. It's the man who controls his response instead of reacting. It's the man who is unbothered by things outside his control because he's mastered what's within. You weren't born weak. You were trained to be. Let that sink in. You weren't born soft. You weren't born anxious, addicted, lazy, reactive. You were trained. Trained by comfort. Trained by school systems that killed your independence. Trained by society to chase attention over character. Trained by social media to expect dopamine over discipline. Trained by fake role models who glorify money but can't control their own mind. You were trained to be fragile. But now it's time to unlearn. Because mental weakness is not your identity. It's a habit. And like any habit, it can be broken. Why you need a bulletproof mind? Because life won't go your way. People will disappoint you. You will fail. You will lose. You will get betrayed. You will be lied to. You will be ignored. You will suffer. And if your mind isn't ready, you'll crumble. A bulletproof mind doesn't prevent pain. It makes you strong enough to endure it and grow from it. It allows you to stand tall in the storm. Not because the storm is easy, but because you're no longer easy to break. What happens when you don't build it? Let's get real. If you don't build a bulletproof mind, life will break you. You'll chase happiness, but never find it. You'll depend on people to feel validated. You'll need likes and compliments to feel good. You'll fall apart every time things don't go as planned. You'll be stuck in a cycle of distraction, addiction, regret, and shame. That's what happens to the man with no mental armor. He loses himself long before the world even tries to stop him. But if you build it, if you do the work, every single day, something changes. You stop chasing peace. You become peace. You stop fearing failure. You use it. You stop avoiding pain. You transform through it. You walk into life with steel in your spine and fire in your eyes. You don't run from storms, you walk through them. And while others panic, you stay present. While others complain, you keep building. While others give up, you keep moving. That's a bulletproof mind. And that's what you were built to create. Final thought to start the journey. So ask yourself again, how do you become unshakable, mentally untouchable, in a world built to distract and destroy? Not by chance, not by hoping, not by waiting for the perfect moment. You build it with discipline, with focus, with truth, with pain, with repetition, with relentless commitment to who you know you're meant to be. The journey starts now. The mission is clear. Your mind is the weapon. Sharpen it, train it, and never let anyone or anything take it from you again. When most people hear bulletproof mindset, they think of a man who feels nothing, a cold, emotionless robot, a silent alpha, someone who pretends he's untouchable while bottling everything up. That's not strength. That's performance. That's insecurity dressed up as toughness. A bulletproof mindset isn't about faking strength. It's about becoming truly, deeply resilient. It's not arrogance. It's not pretending you don't feel pain. It's not being louder, harder, or more aggressive. It's about stillness. It's about clarity under chaos. It's about a calm that can't be shaken because it was built in the fire. So what is it really? Let's break it down into its core elements. A bulletproof mindset is built on 4 pillars: inner clarity, discipline, focus, refusal to be a victim. These are not personality traits. They are practices, habits, repetitions, refined through adversity. Let's look at each one. 1. Inner clarity. A man with a bulletproof mind knows who he is, not what he pretends to be, not what society told him to be, not who he's trying to impress others as. He has confronted his own chaos. He has looked into the mirror, not just to fix his hair, but to confront his flaws. Clarity means your mission is clear. Your values are non-negotiable. You're not chasing approval, you're chasing alignment. This clarity makes you dangerous, because once you stop being confused about what you stand for, no one can manipulate you again. They can criticize you, you won't break. They can praise you, you won't change. You move forward with purpose, not ego, not emotion, direction. 2. Discipline. Discipline is the muscle of the bulletproof mind, not motivation, not inspiration. Discipline is doing what must be done, even when you don't feel like it. It's waking up early when your body wants to sleep. It's training when you'd rather relax. It's saying no to the easy pleasure and yes to the long game. A man with discipline isn't a slave to his feelings. He's not owned by urges, emotions, or circumstances. He trains when he's tired. He works when no one's watching. He studies while others scroll. He holds himself to a higher standard, even when it's invisible. Because discipline is the highest form of self-respect. If you say you're going to do something, and you actually do it, your mind becomes unshakable. Because you've proven to yourself that you can be trusted. 3. Focus. The modern world is built to scatter your mind. Notifications, opinions, headlines, endless scrolling. Every second, something is trying to hijack your attention. A bulletproof mind knows how to block the noise. It's not just about ignoring distractions. It's about building immunity to them. You don't just avoid temptations. You outgrow them. Focus is a weapon, and most men are unarmed. They start everything. They finish nothing. They chase 100 dreams and never conquer one. But the man with focus? He chooses one target and eliminates everything else. He goes deep, not wide. He builds mastery, not noise. He knows that every time you chase a quick fix, you delay the real work. And every time you delay the real work, you delay the real results. So he focuses, not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. 4. Refusal to be a victim. The last pillar, and maybe the most important. The bulletproof mindset refuses to be a victim. Read that again. Let it sink in. You can take everything from a man, but if he refuses to see himself as a victim, he cannot be defeated. This is what separates warriors from the weak. The world is full of people blaming their past, their parents, their trauma, their boss, their country, their ex, their genetics, their childhood, their heartbreak. But blaming is bondage. As long as you blame, you're giving away your power. You're saying, I can't move forward until something changes. And the world? It doesn't care. But a bulletproof mind takes radical ownership. You didn't choose your pain, but you choose what you do with it. You didn't control what happened, but you control what happens next. You don't own every event, but you own your response. You can't control what happens, but you can control how you respond. Epictetus. This quote isn't just Stoic wisdom. It's a lifestyle. It means, I don't wait for life to be fair. I make myself stronger. I don't pray for easier roads. I train for harder paths. I don't whine about the weather. I build a better coat. I'm not a victim of life. I'm the author of my response. That mindset, that's bulletproof. It's not about being emotionless. Let's get something clear. Having a bulletproof mind doesn't mean you never feel sadness, fear, or anger. It means you don't let them rule you. You feel them, but you don't become them. You observe them, but you don't obey them. You recognize the emotion and respond with reason. Because Stoicism isn't about being numb, it's about being in command. The cost of not having it. Let's flip the coin. What happens if you don't build this mindset? You get controlled by emotions. You crumble under pressure. You depend on others for validation. You chase pleasure instead of purpose. You regret the man you became. And the worst part? You lose trust in yourself. And once you lose that, rebuilding is slow and painful. So ask yourself, what's the cost of staying soft? What's the price of not leveling up mentally? Because life will test you either way. You can suffer through weakness, or you can suffer through discipline. Either way, there will be pain. But one pain leads to greatness. Final words, what a bulletproof man looks like. He walks calmly. He listens more than he speaks. He doesn't need to prove anything. He doesn't react, he reflects. He chooses action over noise. He keeps promises to himself. He stands tall, even when he's scared. He's not easily impressed or easily shaken. He doesn't chase, he builds. He doesn't flinch when life hits, he adapts. He doesn't fold under pressure, he thrives in it. He's not loud, he's solid. He doesn't need attention, he earns respect. And the most powerful part? He's not made in a single day. He's made every morning. In the little choices, the hard reps, the quiet battles. Because a bulletproof mindset is not a gift. It's a decision. And today, you can make it. The 3 enemies of a strong mind. The first where you must win is the one inside your own head. Before you conquer anything outside of you, money, success, relationships, the world, you have to face a darker enemy. An invisible war that rages within you. Not against the government, not against your competition, not against your haters, but against the 3 enemies that sit silently in your mind. Distraction, emotion, doubt. These are not random feelings. They are assassins. They destroy your focus, poison your discipline, and strangle your potential, quietly, daily, efficiently. Most men don't lose to the world. They lose to these 3 enemies, long before the world even shows up. Let's meet each one. 1. Distraction, the silent killer. Distraction is the most common and accepted weakness of the modern man. It's disguised as entertainment, disguised as relaxing, disguised as just checking something real quick. But distraction is theft. It steals your time, your presence, and your progress, one scroll at a time. You don't need to be lazy to lose. You just need to be distracted enough to never finish anything. Look around. We are overstimulated, overinformed, underfocused. Our minds are split into 100 pieces. TikTok is reprogramming your attention span. Instagram is feeding your comparison addiction. YouTube is rewarding dopamine over discipline. Netflix numbs your ambition. And your phone? It's the leash you voluntarily wear. Distraction has replaced action. But here's the truth. Every time you choose distraction over discipline, you vote for a weaker version of yourself. Distraction is not innocent. It's a weapon. A man who can't focus will never finish. And a man who never finishes will never rise. You don't beat distraction by removing every temptation. You beat it by building focus stronger than your cravings. You reclaim your time. You guard your attention. You train your mind to sit still, to go deep, to lock in. Because every great man, every powerful creator, every disciplined warrior was forged through undivided focus. 2. Emotion, the fire you must master. Most men are ruled by emotion and don't even realize it. They think they're logical. They think they're in control. But look closer. One insult ruins their whole day. One rejection wrecks their confidence. One craving controls their behavior. One moment of anger ruins everything they've built. Emotion is not the problem. Reactivity is. Because a strong man feels everything, but he doesn't act on everything. Emotions are signals, not instructions. But when you confuse the two, You become a slave. You chase women to feel wanted. You avoid pain to feel comfortable. You chase money to feel powerful. You lash out because you feel insecure. And then you wonder why your life feels out of control. Stoicism teaches, you are not your emotions. You are the observer of your emotions. A bulletproof mind doesn't avoid feelings, it disciplines them. Anger becomes controlled power. Sadness becomes clarity. Fear becomes sharpness. Ego becomes silence. Emotion is energy. It can destroy or it can drive you, but only if you're in the driver's seat. How do you take back the wheel? Breathe before you react. Pause before you speak. Reflect before you post. Train your emotional muscles daily. Journal. Meditate. Observe. Choose. A man who cannot master his emotions will always be at the mercy of his weakest moments. But a man who can feel and still choose clarity, he becomes unshakable. 3. Doubt, the enemy within. The final enemy is the most dangerous because it doesn't shout. It whispers. Doubt is subtle. It doesn't punch you in the face. It pokes at you in quiet moments. It erodes your belief, your courage, your momentum. Maybe I'm not good enough. What if I fail? What if they judge me? I'll start next week. I'm not like those other guys. That voice. That's self-sabotage wearing the mask of logic. And if you listen long enough, it becomes your truth. You begin to lower your standards. You stop taking risks. You hide your voice. You settle for a small life because your mind convinced you that you weren't built for more. But here's the truth no one will tell you. Doubt is a liar. It's not protecting you. It's shrinking you. It's the residue of years of failure, rejection, trauma, and fear, all bundled up into a quiet voice that tells you to stay small. But you're not meant to stay small. A bulletproof mind faces doubt like a warrior. He doesn't deny it. He doesn't hide from it. He doesn't numb it. He challenges it. He says, maybe I'll fail, but I'll still try. Maybe I'm scared, but I'll still move. Maybe I don't know everything, but I know I'll learn. He takes action, even when unsure. He builds confidence, one rep at a time. He replaces fear with evidence, built through effort. You don't kill doubt with motivation. You kill it with proof. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you weaken doubt. Every time you act despite fear, you silence that voice. That's how you win the quiet war. All three work together to break you. Let me be clear. Distraction, emotion, doubt. They don't attack you separately. They work as a team. You feel doubt, so you seek distraction. You get distracted, so you feel insecure. You feel insecure, so you react emotionally. You react emotionally, so you sabotage your progress. It becomes a cycle, and before you know it, years are gone. Your ambition is a memory. Your confidence is dead, and your potential? Still untouched. But it doesn't have to end that way. The man with a bulletproof mind recognizes the pattern and breaks it. Final words, win the war within. The first war you must win is the one inside your own head. This war isn't glamorous. It's not loud. It's fought in silence, in the small decisions no one sees. Wake up or sleep in. Train or scroll. Speak with truth or stay silent. Face discomfort or escape it. Build or avoid. Every choice is a battle. Every moment is a chance to win or lose. But if you can conquer your distractions, your emotions, your doubts, then no one can stop you. Not the world, not failure, not time, not even you. So sharpen your focus. Discipline your emotions. Crush your doubt. Because once the war inside is won, the outside world doesn't stand a chance. The mind is your most powerful weapon. But a weapon is only as strong as the way it's built. A bulletproof mindset doesn't just appear. It's not a mood. It's not a quote. It's not a trend. It's a structure, a system, a code. It is forged in fire, pressure, and silence, and it rests on 4 unshakable pillars: clarity, control, consistency, calmness under chaos. These are not motivational slogans. They are mental disciplines that create a man who doesn't just survive pressure. He grows stronger from it. Let's break down each one. 1. Clarity. Know who you are, what you value, where you're going. A man without clarity is a ship without a compass. It doesn't matter how strong your engine is. If you don't know where you're headed, you'll drift. You'll circle. You'll sink. Clarity is power. It's the root of confidence. It's what separates real men from reactive boys. When you know who you are, you stop chasing validation. You stop shape-shifting for approval. You stop fearing rejection. Why? Because you are grounded in something deeper than trends, status, or praise. Clarity means you've defined your values, what you stand for no matter what. Your vision, the future you're building whether they believe in you or not. Your code, how you act, speak, live, and lead. Without clarity, life pushes you around. One bad comment breaks you. One delay discourages you. One setback defines you. But when you have internal clarity, you move with direction. You no longer ask, what should I do? You already know. You just execute. Clarity builds identity. And once your identity is strong, your actions follow. 2. Control. Master your emotions, time, and focus. The second pillar is control, not over the world, but over yourself. Stoicism doesn't teach you to dominate others. It teaches you to master the only kingdom that matters, your inner world. There are 3 domains you must rule. 1. Your emotions. Don't suppress them. Don't worship them. Understand them. The man who masters his emotions doesn't react impulsively, doesn't crumble under anger, doesn't run from fear, doesn't beg for love, doesn't fall apart in chaos. He feels the emotion, but he chooses the action. He pauses when others explode. He breathes when others break. He observes before he speaks. He leads with clarity, not confusion. 2. Your time. Time is your most sacred resource, and most men waste it like they have forever. But a bulletproof mind sees time as life in motion. He doesn't spend time. He invests it. He guards it. He structures his day with intention. He says no more than yes. He replaces entertainment with purpose. His calendar reflects his ambition, not his distractions. 3. Your focus. Where attention goes, life flows. You can't control everything that tries to enter your mind, but you can control what stays. A man of mental strength trains his focus like an elite athlete. No doom scrolling, no emotional gossip, no energy leaks, no reacting to every beep, buzz, or trend. He doesn't multitask. He monotasks. He doesn't scatter his energy. He sharpens it. Control is not about being a robot. It's about being a master of emotion, of time, of thought. When the world spins, he remains centered because he owns his responses and he owns his path. 3. Consistency. Discipline that doesn't need motivation. Motivation is a feeling. It comes and goes like the wind. You can't rely on it. But discipline is armor. Consistency is what builds a bulletproof mind. It's not about being intense for a day. It's about showing up every single day, whether you feel like it or not. Rain or shine, tired or energized, lonely or inspired, seen or unseen. The consistent man doesn't train for applause. He trains because it's who he is. He doesn't journal for followers. He journals for clarity. He doesn't wake up early to impress. He wakes up early because the mission demands it. Consistency builds trust with yourself. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you build inner strength. Every time you finish what you start, you reinforce your identity. You become the kind of man who does what must be done. No excuses, no drama, no delay. That's rare in a world of talkers. That's power in a world of softness. You don't rise to the level of your motivation. You fall to the level of your discipline. 4. Calmness under chaos. Be like the cliff. Be like the cliff against which the waves crash. It stands firm, and the raging sea falls still around it. Marcus Aurelius. This final pillar is what separates the bulletproof from the broken. The world will test you. People will lie. Plans will fail. Loved ones will disappoint. Your body will get tired. The path will get dark. But the man with a bulletproof mind stands calm, still, solid, not because life is easy, but because he is ready. Calmness is not weakness. Calmness is control under fire. It is what keeps your heart steady when storms hit. It is what silences the noise when the crowd screams. It is what lets you act with clarity when everyone else is in chaos. A calm man isn't slow, he's deliberate. He's not soft, he's measured. He's not passive, he's anchored. His power doesn't shout. It radiates. You can feel it in the way he moves, in the way he listens, in the way he doesn't flinch. This calmness isn't natural, it's trained. Through discomfort, through pressure, through breath work, through stillness, through choosing to remain centered, even when everything tries to pull him off course. Because the world doesn't reward panic, it rewards presence. And the man who can stay calm in chaos, he leads, he wins, he lasts. Final thoughts. build the pillars or break without them. The bulletproof mind is not made in a day. It's built, layer by layer, by strengthening these 4 pillars. Clarity, know thyself. Control, own your reactions. Consistency, show up when it's boring, hard, and lonely. Calmness, stand firm while the world shakes. You won't get there by accident. You'll get there by choice. Daily decisions. Relentless repetition. Uncomfortable growth. No one will see most of it. No one will clap for most of it. But when life hits hard, you'll be the one still standing. That's what bulletproof looks like. Now ask yourself, which of these pillars is weak right now? And more importantly, what are you going to do about it? Mental strength is not something you are born with. It's not a personality trait. It's not a genetic gift. It's a skill. And like any skill, it must be trained daily. Just like a warrior sharpens his blade every morning before battle, a man must sharpen his mind before he steps into the chaos of the world. This is not about motivation. This is about mental armor, an internal system of self-discipline, focus, and clarity that becomes your first defense and your greatest weapon. This is your training ground. Every day, before the world has a chance to shape you, you shape yourself. Let's break down the daily practices that build a bulletproof mind. 1. Morning Stoic journaling. Command your mind before the world does. Before you touch your phone, before you scroll, before you even speak, sit with your thoughts. This is your inner headquarters, a place where you set the tone for your day, with intention, not impulse. Morning journaling isn't therapy. It's war preparation. The Stoics believe that the first moments of the day are sacred, because how you begin your day is how you live your life. Write with clarity. Write with intention. Start with these 3 powerful prompts. What is in my control today? Focus only on what you can influence. Your thoughts, actions, decisions, discipline. What challenges might I face today? This is premeditatio malorum. Prepare your mind to meet problems with calm, not panic. What virtues must I embody today? Patience, courage, clarity, strength? Choose your mental armor. Wear it on purpose. Even 5 minutes of journaling does more for your strength than 2 hours of motivation content. Because this is not about consuming, this is about commanding. When you write, you don't just reflect, you reprogram. You reinforce the man you are becoming. 2. Voluntary discomfort. Train in peace so you don't bleed in war. Comfort is a killer. It softens the body. It weakens the mind. It shrinks the soul. The modern world is full of pleasure at your fingertips. But if you want to be sharp, focused, and powerful, you need to build tolerance to pain. Stoics practiced voluntary discomfort to stay grounded and unshaken. Here's how you can do it daily. Cold showers. It's not about the water. It's about the decision to step into discomfort willingly. You train your brain to move through fear. You teach your body that discomfort is not death. You rewire your nervous system to respond, not react. Every cold shower is a battle of willpower, and every time you win, you become more resilient. Fasting. You're not skipping meals. You're reclaiming control over your impulses. When you delay gratification, you tell your body, I run this. Not cravings, not habits. Me. Fasting teaches you. Hunger is not weakness. You don't need constant stimulation. Mental clarity increases when you deny yourself unnecessary pleasure. It's not about the diet. It's about the discipline. Physical training. It's not for aesthetics. It's to remind you that your body is a weapon. Training every day, even just push-ups or sprints, keeps your edge sharp. Discomfort is not the enemy. It is the training ground for greatness. The man who chooses pain on purpose becomes unshakable when pain is forced upon him. 3. Focus rituals. Build a fortress around your attention. Your focus is under attack every day. Apps are engineered to hijack it. Notifications are designed to fragment it. The world profits when you lose control of your attention. So build rituals that protect your mental space like your life depends on it, because it does. Here's how. No phone mornings. Don't let the world enter your mind before you do. No social media. No messages. No news. No chaos. Give yourself at least 1 hour in the morning of digital silence. This is sacred time. Time for stillness, journaling, movement, breath, clarity. This is where your power lives. Not in your inbox. Not in your feed. Deep work blocks. Carve out 90-minute blocks of pure focus. No distractions. No multitasking. No noise. Just one mission. One task. One goal. This trains your brain to go deep, not wide. To build, not scroll. To create, not consume. Set a timer. Shut the door. Destroy distractions. What you create in one focused hour will outweigh 10 distracted ones. Digital minimalism. Remove what weakens your mind. Turn off notifications. Delete apps that don't serve your mission. Clean up your digital world like your mental world depends on it, because it does. You can't be focused with a cluttered battlefield. You must be ruthless with what you allow to enter your mental space. Your focus is sacred. Guard it like your survival depends on it, because it does. 4. Self-talk rewiring. Your voice creates your reality. Your mind is listening. Every thought you think, every word you speak, every sentence you repeat. Your internal dialogue either builds you or breaks you. Most men live with an inner critic that would get arrested if it were another person. You're not good enough. You'll never win. You always mess up. No one believes in you. That voice. Kill it. Not with more noise, but with purposeful, deliberate, conscious reprogramming. Here's how. Step 1. Identify the poison. Catch negative thoughts in real time. Example. Thought. I'm not disciplined. Reframe. I'm learning to act with discipline daily, and that's power. Thought. I'll probably fail. Reframe. Every failure sharpens me. I get better, not bitter. Step 2. Replace with warrior affirmations. Write 3 power affirmations that reflect who you are becoming, not where you've been. Say them out loud. Every morning, every night, every time you feel weak. Examples. I control my mind. My mind does not control me. I am built for pressure. I rise when tested. I act with purpose. I live with clarity. I lead myself first. You don't say these to lie to yourself. You say them to lead yourself. Words shape thought. Thought shapes action. Action shapes identity. You are reconditioning your inner voice to speak strength, not fear. Final words. Make training a lifestyle, not a phase. The bulletproof mind is not built in hype. It's built in ritual. You don't rise because you feel like it. You rise because you've trained yourself to rise every damn day. These are not optional habits. They are non-negotiable systems. Journaling for clarity. Discomfort for strength. Focus for power. Affirmations for reprogramming. You don't train for results. You train for who you become. The world will try to shape you. You must shape yourself, first and daily. Mental armor isn't something you wear. It's something you become. So tomorrow morning, ask yourself, am I training my mind or letting the world train it for me? And if you're serious about your growth, train before the day begins. Train before the emotions arrive. Train before the distractions attack. Train before the war starts, because the war is coming. But now, you'll be ready. Stoic mindset versus victim mentality. 2 men can face the same problem. One breaks, the other builds. One complains, the other conquers. One says, why me? The other says, let's go. What separates them isn't talent. It isn't money. It isn't background. It's mindset. One chooses the mindset of a victim. The other chooses the mindset of a stoic. And that choice, it changes everything. Let's go deep. The victim mentality, a trap disguised as comfort. The victim mentality whispers in your ear. It's not your fault. You're unlucky. Life is unfair. People are against you. You can't win because of your past, your environment, your trauma, your situation. At first, this voice feels soothing. It removes responsibility. It says, you don't need to act because it's out of your hands. But here's the catch. When you give up responsibility, you give up power. You become reactive. You wait for others to change. You wait for luck. You wait for help. You wait for the world to be fair. And in that waiting, your life passes you by. The victim mindset is a mental prison. And the worst part? The door is open, but you never walk out. The stoic mindset, total ownership of self. Now step into the mind of a stoic. He doesn't need the world to be fair. He doesn't expect life to be easy. He doesn't demand comfort. He lives by one code. I do not control what happens, but I control how I respond. That one shift from external control to internal control is what makes a man unshakable. The stoic doesn't blame. He doesn't cry over what's out of reach. He doesn't wait for things to change. He changes himself. When life gets dark, he brings his own fire. When the path gets rough, he adjusts his step, not the terrain. When others complain, he observes. He adapts. He moves. That's power. That's freedom. Key differences: stoic versus victim. Let's break it down clearly. Victim Stoic. This always happens to me. This happened. What can I do about it? Blames others, takes full responsibility. Avoids discomfort, trains in discomfort. Controlled by emotions, master of emotions. Waits for help, becomes his own solution. Stays stuck in the past, focuses on the present. Reacts impulsively, responds with reason. Complains about the system, operates above the system. Lives in fear, acts with courage. The Stoic doesn't pretend life is perfect. He simply doesn't need it to be. Radical ownership, the foundation of a bulletproof mind. A bulletproof mindset starts with one law. Everything is your responsibility. Not because everything is your fault, but because your life is in your hands and no one is coming to save you. You don't control the storm, but you control how you train for it. You don't control your past, but you control how you interpret it. You don't control people, but you control what you tolerate, how you respond, and how you move forward. Victims wait for rescue. Stoics build rafts with bare hands and broken wood. Radical ownership is not about guilt, it's about freedom. Because once you take full ownership of your thoughts, energy, and behavior, you become unbreakable. No one can ruin your day. No one can steal your peace. No one can make you feel small, unless you give them permission. And that permission, the Stoic never gives it. Training the Stoic response. This mindset doesn't just appear. You train it. You install it. You live it, day after day. Here's how. 1. Pause before you react. The victim reacts instantly. The Stoic pauses. That space between event and reaction is where strength is built. Practice this. Someone insults you? Pause. Life throws a curveball. Breathe. Plans fall apart. Observe. Then choose your response with logic, not emotion. That's where power lives, in the pause. 2. Rewrite the narrative. The victim asks, why is this happening to me? The Stoic asks, what is this teaching me? Pain becomes purpose. Setbacks become strength. Every challenge becomes a classroom for growth. 3. Eliminate blame. Blame is easy. Responsibility is rare. Every time you blame, you give away your power. Stop saying, they made me angry. Life is unfair. This ruined my mood. Start saying, I allowed that to affect me. This is an opportunity to practice discipline. I control my response. That's ownership. That's transformation. The cost of victimhood. Let's be clear, the victim mindset has a cost. A brutal, silent cost that most men ignore until it's too late. You lose your potential, your growth, your leadership, your respect, your self-trust. Because every time you say, it's not my fault, you're also saying, I have no power to change it. You shrink. You become small in your own story. You become a side character in a movie that's supposed to be yours. And the saddest part? Victimhood can feel justified. It can feel real. It can be surrounded by true pain, true trauma, true injustice. But even then, you still get to choose how you respond. The pain is not your fault. But the healing, the power, the next step, that's on you. Always. Why the Stoic mindset wins? Always. Because it doesn't rely on others. Because it works in every environment. Because it doesn't need external conditions to be perfect. The Stoic man is built to lead himself, to operate with clarity in chaos, to hold his values when the crowd folds, to keep his mind steady when the world shakes. He doesn't just survive, he commands. He shows up strong when it's hard. He stays quiet when it's noisy. He keeps building when others stop. And because of this, he wins. Not always immediately, not always visibly, but always internally, where it truly counts. Final questions for self-check. Want to know which mindset you're living in? Ask yourself, do I complain more than I act? Do I react emotionally or respond with reason? Do I wait for things to change, or do I adapt and move forward? Do I blame others, or take full responsibility? The answers will tell you everything. Conclusion, you choose your side every day. This isn't about being perfect. It's about choosing who you are, especially when life tests you. Every day, you stand at the crossroads. Victim, soft, reactive, controlled by life. Stoic, grounded, focused, unshaken. One leads to chaos, bitterness, and regret. The other leads to strength, clarity, and inner freedom. So ask yourself, am I living like everything is happening to me, or happening for me? Because the truth is, you are the author, not the audience, not the victim, not the excuse maker. You are the fire. You are the stone. You are the sword. And the sooner you own it, the sooner life bends to your will, not the other way around. What a bulletproof mind looks like in real life. You know a bulletproof mind when you see it. Not because it's loud, not because it flexes, but because it's calm, because it moves with purpose, because even in silence, it speaks. A bulletproof mind doesn't need to prove itself. It just is. It's not a fantasy. It's not a YouTube highlight reel. It's real, and it's earned through daily choices and ruthless inner discipline. Here's what it looks like in the battlefield of real life. Calm when insulted. When most people get insulted, they flinch. They react. They defend. They explode. But the man with a bulletproof mind? He remains still. He knows that being triggered is a choice. That words are only weapons if you allow them to pierce you. And that no insult can affect you unless your ego hands it the key. He doesn't fire back. He doesn't try to win the argument. He simply sees the insult for what it is, a test. And he passes, without breaking. Because he's not here to argue with fools. He's here to build, to lead, to move. You want to see real strength? Watch a man who doesn't flinch when he's disrespected, because he knows who he is. Insults are noise. The bulletproof man is signal. And signal doesn't beg for attention. It holds power through presence. Disciplined when tired. Anyone can stick to their routine when they feel good. But what happens when the body aches? When the mind wants comfort? When the world offers 100 excuses? That's the moment discipline is tested. And that's when the bulletproof mind tightens its grip. He doesn't need motivation. He doesn't wait for energy. He acts because it's who he is, not because it's easy. Tired? He moves. Unmotivated? He works. Tempted to quit? He remembers why he started. Discipline is not about perfection. It's about staying on the path even when your feet bleed. The bulletproof man doesn't listen to his feelings. He leads them. He trains even when it's dark. He shows up when it's inconvenient. He holds the line because he knows that true respect is born from consistency. This is discipline. Doing what you said you would do, long after the mood you said it in is gone. Focused when tempted. Temptation comes in many forms. Distraction, pleasure, shortcuts, approval, comfort, validation. And it always comes when you're tired, when you're weak, when your vision isn't clear. The bulletproof mind doesn't avoid temptation. He looks it in the face and says no, not because he's emotionless, but because he's anchored. He knows that every temptation has a cost. Your time, your momentum, your edge, and the trade? It's never worth it. He doesn't scroll when he should be creating. He doesn't party when he should be building. He doesn't chase dopamine when he's chasing greatness. The ability to say no, not to others, but to yourself, is what separates warriors from wanderers. Temptation is loud, but focus? Focus is quiet and lethal. The bulletproof mind stays locked in, even when everything around him screams, "Come relax." Because he understands. Every yes to distraction is a no to destiny, and his destiny matters more than his comfort. Unshaken by chaos, praise, or hate. The world is noisy. Chaos erupts. People betray. Markets crash. Opinions flood your space. One day they cheer. The next day they cancel. One moment, you're their hero. The next, you're the villain. The bulletproof man, he doesn't flinch. He's not shaken by hate, because he didn't build his foundation on approval. He's not inflated by praise, because he didn't grind for applause. He's not crushed by failure, because he didn't tie his identity to outcomes. He walks steady, in silence, if needed, because his roots are deep. Be like the cliff against which the waves crash, but it stands firm and tames the fury of the water. Marcus Aurelius. That's not poetry. That's mindset. It means, let the world rage. Let the storms roar. Let the noise rise. You remain unmoved. You keep building. You keep sharpening. You keep showing up. Because your peace is internal. And no one can steal what they didn't give you. The power of silent strength. There's something rare about a man who doesn't need attention. Who doesn't broadcast every win. Who doesn't announce every grind. Who just shows up, strong, clear, focused. That's real power. Not the loudest in the room. Not the flashiest on social media. Not the one chasing followers or clout. But the one who walks in and everyone feels his presence. Because he's solid, unshakable, bulletproof. Be so solid that even your silence is powerful. He doesn't need to defend his name. His actions already did that. He doesn't need to respond to gossip. His life already answered. He doesn't chase validation. He validates himself. through discipline, clarity, and execution. The bulletproof mind is silent in noise, still in movement, and present always. In the small moments, it shows. A bulletproof mind isn't just seen in war. It's seen in the tiny battles. Choosing water over sugar, leaving your phone face down during work, saying no to gossip, getting up when the alarm rings, breathing instead of snapping, practicing gratitude when you want to complain. That's where it's built. That's where it's forged. It's in the choices no one sees, but you never forget. Because at the end of the day, your life is the sum of your decisions. And a bulletproof mind makes those decisions from principle, not emotion. Final reflection. The world wants you reactive, emotional, shaky, distracted, chasing pleasure, fleeing discomfort, begging for attention. But a man with a bulletproof mind, he's the opposite. Calm when insulted, disciplined when tired, focused when tempted, unshaken by praise or chaos. He doesn't just survive the world. He masters himself. And by mastering himself, he becomes unstoppable. This isn't about becoming a machine. It's about becoming free. Free from the need to prove, to please, to perform. Because when you're grounded in principle, when your emotions are trained, when your vision is clear, you become unbreakable. You become the mountain. You become the cliff. You become the force that doesn't need noise to make impact. You don't talk about being bulletproof. You just are. Oh, you weren't born bulletproof. No one is. You were born vulnerable, emotional, reactive, full of fears, doubts, and triggers. The mind, left on autopilot, is soft. It breaks under pressure. It chases comfort. It avoids pain. It gives up easily and blames quickly. But here's the truth that changes everything. You were never meant to stay that way. Growth isn't natural, it's intentional. Clarity doesn't arrive, it's earned. Discipline doesn't come from emotion, it comes from decision. And becoming bulletproof? That's not luck. That's not genetics. That's a daily choice. A crafted mindset. A forged identity. It's hours alone with your thoughts. It's choosing the hard thing, over and over. It's not reacting to the world's chaos, but commanding your own calm. It's standing tall while everything tries to knock you down. You weren't born bulletproof. You build it. You become it. Life will test you. Make no mistake, life will come for you. At your weakest moment. When you're tired. When you think you've earned a break. When no one's watching. When the pressure is rising and everything you've built feels like it's slipping away. That's when the test shows up. And when it does, you won't be able to fake strength. You'll either have it, or you won't. You'll either stay grounded, or collapse. You'll either stay disciplined, or regress. You'll either control your response, or be controlled by it. There is no kinda ready. No half-built. No mentally strong only on good days. When chaos hits, your mind is either armored or exposed. So don't wait. How you think is how you survive. At every stage of life, your mind is the gatekeeper. It filters every experience. It controls your reaction to pain, to joy, to loss, to success. It decides what you tolerate, what you chase, what you ignore. That's why building a bulletproof mind isn't optional. It's essential. If your mind is weak, your emotions run you. If your emotions run you, the world owns you. Every manipulator, every distraction, every obstacle, they'll break you. Because you never trained. But if your mind is clear, grounded in stoic clarity and unshakable principle, then nothing owns you. Not your urges, not people's opinions, not your past, not your fears. Because you've taken back the throne. Because you don't ask the world for permission to be strong. You decide to be strong. That's what it means to be bulletproof. You are the armor. Your habits are your armor. Your thoughts are your sword. Your calm is your shield. Your discipline is your fortress. Every time you get up early, you lay a brick. Every time you say no to comfort, another layer. Every time you control your temper, you tighten the steel. Every time you journal instead of complain, you sharpen your edge. You are building your own protection. Mental, emotional, spiritual. And the best part? It can't be taken. It can't be stolen. It doesn't depend on money, praise, likes, followers, or fame. It's yours. The world will keep pushing. Stay unmoved. No matter how strong you become, life won't stop testing you. People will lie. Things will fall apart. Emotions will rise. The world will try to make you small. But when you've built yourself from the inside, you don't need things to go your way. You adjust. You observe. You respond with power. You don't flinch. You don't beg. You don't crumble. Stand upright, speak your truth, and let the world do what it wants. Marcus Aurelius. That's the final level. Not needing the world to bend, not begging for peace, just showing up with it inside you, unshakable. That's real control. That's Stoic fire. Bulletproof is a lifestyle. This isn't about one morning routine. It's not a motivational phase. It's a lifestyle. You hold your word. You master your urges. You stay calm under pressure. You move with clarity. You lead yourself, even when no one's clapping, even when it's inconvenient, even when you want to quit. Because at your core, you're not chasing ease, you're building excellence. Every action says one thing. I'm not like the rest. I'm built different, and I'm building more. Bulletproof doesn't mean perfect. It means ready. Ready to face discomfort. Ready to keep going. Ready to live by principle when others fold. The call to action. So here's the challenge. Build your mental armor. Not next month. Not next year. Now. Start today. Wake up early. Sit with your thoughts. Stop reacting. Start responding. Stop explaining yourself. Start showing discipline. Take the hits. Hold your center. Keep your pace. This isn't about pretending to be strong. It's about becoming strong from the inside out. You want clarity? Train your thoughts. You want peace? Control your reactions. You want strength? Do what's hard every single day. Because if you wait for the test to begin training, you've already lost. The final reminder. You weren't born bulletproof. But every choice, every habit, every battle you face with courage is a step toward becoming it. Forget praise. Forget critics. Forget comfort. Choose clarity. Choose effort. Choose truth. And when it's all said and done, you'll be the one who didn't break. Not because life was easy, but because you were forged in fire. You became the cliff. You became the storm. You became the stillness in the noise. And when the test comes, because it always will, you'll smile. Because you know one thing for sure. You came prepared.